If you're busy from the moment you wake up to the moment you shut your laptop and your business still isn't growing, that's not a time problem. That's a design problem. Welcome back to Success by Design. I'm Decker Erickson, and today we are going to have a very honest conversation about something almost every interior designer I talk to is experiencing. I see you. You are busy, your calendar is full, your projects are moving, and your inbox is never empty. And yet, your business does not feel like it is growing. Not in revenue, maybe. Perhaps it's in profit. Certainly not in your freedom, and definitely not in your capacity. And if you're really honest with yourself, and this is a hard spot to be, but that's why you come to this pod, it might even feel like you're running just to stay in place. Today, I want to unpack why that is happening, what is actually going on underneath the surface of your business, and how to begin shifting. So again, your business starts working for you rather than you working for it. Let me paint a picture that might feel very familiar to a lot of you. It's what I'm hearing in my coaching practice. You start your day, you're already behind. You are answering emails before you get out of bed. You're reviewing drawings, you're making selections, texting clients, checking on those orders, solving problems, and you are jumping from one thing to the next all day long. And like one of my coaching clients last week, it's not just happening 5 days a week, it's happening 6 days a week. Because here's the common factor. You're the one making the decision, you're the one communicating with the clients, you're the one managing vendors, you're the one fixing issues, and you are the one reviewing every detail. And at the end of the day, you're also the one who feels like you've worked so incredibly hard. But when you zoom out and ask yourself, did my business actually move forward today? The answer is not really. I'm just utterly exhausted. In fact, it may feel like this. I know I've been there, and it does. You've maintained everything. You've kept everything going. The clients are happy, praise God. You pushed projects forward, but nothing has fundamentally changed. Maybe it's your KPIs. Maybe nothing has scaled. Maybe nothing has expanded, or maybe nothing's got easier. And then the next day starts, and just like Groundhog Day, you get up and you do it all again. Let's talk about where the misdiagnosis in this is happening and where most designers I talk to are going wrong. It's not your fault. It's easy to do. This is what you start thinking. I just need more time, which is why you'll hear me say over and over on the show, we can outsource everything, but we can't make more time. It's your most valuable asset. Maybe you're thinking, I need to get more efficient, or I need to hire better help, or gosh, I really need better systems. And don't get me wrong, while those things all are really going to help, they don't get to the root of the issue, the key diagnosis. They're all Band-Aids on the problem. Because the real problem isn't that you're busy. The problem is what your business rewards. I'm going to say that again. The problem isn't that you're busy. The problem is what your business rewards, because most designers have accidentally built businesses that are rewarding effort instead of leverage. And leverage, well, we're going to talk about it. It's huge. What does this really mean when we're talking about reward instead of leverage? It's the more you work, the more things move, and the less you work, everything slows down. So the reality of this is that your business is directly tied to your personal output. And as we all know, we all have a ceiling, and that means your business is tied to your ceiling because there are only so many hours you can work, even if, like the designer I talked to last week, is working 6 days a week. So let's take a moment and talk about what's really happening and break this down clearly. There are 4 patterns that I keep seeing come up over and over and over again. The first one is your business depends on your constant involvement. This is not where you want to be. Every project requires you, every decision flows through you, every approval, every change, every little adjustment, and you're just not leading the business because, let's face it, you are the business. So nothing moves unless you move it. If you're there, hang on, we're going to bring help, but I first want to talk through these 4 things. The other thing I'm seeing is your calendar is full, but nothing is actually compounding. And this is a huge one we're seeing, especially in this economy where there's a lot of tire kickers, but not a lot of people willing to put money down, even if they have it, to take action because of fear in the geopolitical climate, fear in their personal finances. One week we're bombing Venezuela, the next Iran. It creates uncertainty regardless of your politics. So you're doing work that resets every single week. So maybe it's a new client means new conversations, or a new project means new decisions. And every deliverable starts from scratch. So nothing is actually building on itself like a snowball. You're not building assets, and you're not building systems that are creating these outputs without you. You're producing, don't get me wrong, you're totally producing, but here's the key differentiator. You're not actually multiplying. That's the key when it comes to your calendar is full, but nothing is compounding. All right, let's talk about number 3. You're maintaining revenue. That's great. Here's the problem. Maybe you're not scaling it. You might be hitting consistent numbers. Awesome. But those numbers are requiring the exact same level of effort every single month. So if you stop, guess what? So does it. This is maintenance. This isn't growth. And it's utterly exhausting. And I want to talk about this final one. You've built a business that rewards effort, not leverage. This is the core of what we're talking about today. Your business is, if Katie works harder, we grow. But it does not say if Katie builds smarter, we grow without her. And that is the difference. And don't get me wrong, there's a huge emotional component to this, because this can feel scary. It can feel like letting go. It can feel like you don't care about your business because you're not involved in every single detail. Stick with me. We're going to talk more about this because it is so important that your business be able to grow without you. If that feels scary, you're for sure going to want to stick around for the rest of the episode. Busy businesses don't grow. They sustain. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. Busy businesses don't grow. They sustain. Because here's the reality. Busy feels productive. Busy feels successful, and busy feels like progress, especially in our society. But busy often means you are just maintaining what is already there. This is why growth looks different. Growth looks like things working without you, decisions being made without you that are good decisions. Let's clarify that. Revenue coming in that is not tied to your hours. That's huge. I want to go deeper into this because real growth for you is going to come from 2 things. Now that we know what the problems are, let's talk about how to fix them. We need to talk about decisions that reduce dependency on you. Now, don't mishear me. I'm not looking to eliminate you. In fact, this is the number one thing I see designers who get busy do wrong. They hire an assistant designer. We're going to talk about this on an upcoming episode. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. We're not looking to eliminate you, but we are we're looking to reduce dependency upon you. What does that actually look like? I'm glad you asked the question. We are talking about standardizing parts of your design process. Standardizing parts of your design process. This does not mean it's a ride or die design process. It has to be malleable. In fact, Brene Brown talks about this in her latest book. And it is, in fact, we'll put it in the show notes. It's such a good reminder. Processes are important. They're dependent upon 80% of the time. What else are we talking about? Creating clear frameworks for you and your clients to follow. You have to lead the dance or they will take you for a ride because that's all they know how to do trying to get to the destination. They're not malicious. They just don't know who's in charge or how it's happening. And then also setting boundaries on how and when decisions happen. You can't outsource this to anyone else because you are still the visionary of your business. You are still the leader, but you cannot be the bottleneck. Okay, I also want to talk about structure that allows output without your constant input. This is where designers that I hang out with have not spent enough time. Structure is what is going to allow your business to move even when you are not actively pushing it. Now, I know this can be hard. We are right-brained people. We love creativity. We love all the things that go with creativity. But if we don't have the left brain to balance that out, it doesn't allow us the creative freedom we need. Your left brain is creating all of those designs and structure that allow you and set the stage to go forth and create in that beautiful right brain space that you love to hang out in. What's an example of what I'm talking about when it comes to structure that allows output without your constant input? Maybe it's a repeatable onboarding process. Maybe it's a defined design presentation structure. Maybe it's pre-built packages or service tiers. Maybe it's just content or marketing that works for you over time. Any of these examples are how you stop resetting to zero every single week. Because right now, if you're sitting here and you're ready to pull over on the side of the road and cry because you can relate to this so much, and everything depends on you showing up again on Monday, your business resets every single time. In our business on Monday, when we go through our Monday board meeting, it is a continuation of the conversation from Friday with any clarifying points and prioritization for the week. It is not a ground up reset. Our projects are too big for it to be. And isn't that what you want in your firm too? So this is going to require a mindset shift. I really want to talk about what is keeping you stuck. If you need to stay pulled over on the side of the road, feel free to do so. This is a hard conversation to have because this isn't operational. It's not a checklist. It's not something you can put into your project management software. This is about your brain space because most designers believe that my value is in being involved in everything, especially if it's your name on the firm. Or no one can do it as well as I can. Or, oh gosh, if I step back, everything is going to fall apart. Don't get me wrong. There is some truth in that because you are talented. You got yourself here. You are experienced. You wouldn't have made it this far if you weren't. And I know you care deeply about your work because your clients keep showing up over and over again. But I want to be really careful with this because those beliefs are also what is keeping your business from evolving. And so the mindset shift I need you to make is my value is not in doing everything. My value is in designing a business that works. See, you're not just a designer of spaces, folks. You are a designer of systems. You're a designer of experiences. You're a designer of outcomes. And your business is one of those things. So let's expand the definition of growth. I also want to redefine something really important here because growth isn't just about revenue. For some of you, growth might look like more profitability with fewer projects. Maybe growth is more hours with your family. Maybe it's more creative freedom or less stress or better clients. Or as I was talking to one of my coaching clients last week, positioning herself to retire in 5 years so she can go stay with her granddaughter on the other half of the country. See, growth is defined by you. Because remember this, your business is supposed to work for you, not you working for it. Oh, don't get me wrong. You can work for it for a sizable period of time. But here's what's going to happen. Remember that glass ceiling we started this episode with? You're going to start banging into it and your business is going to be stuck. Because if your business requires you to constantly show up at full capacity just to keep it alive, it's not aligned with you. And I see you because you come to me and you are burnt out and tired. That is the last place we want to go. So I want you to take a minute, sit in quiet space. If you're not driving, you can close your eyes for a minute. Think about your current business. And I want you to ask yourself this honestly, because no one else can ask you these questions as the CEO of your company. What happens if you step away for a week? What happens if you just stop? Where are you the bottleneck? And what are you doing that could be structured differently? And I'm going to be really honest with you. I love you. These questions are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to wake you up to what is actually happening inside your firm. In fact, I worked with a designer recently who was incredibly busy. We're talking booked out, great clients, strong reputation, She was exhausted. Every project required her full involvement. And when we looked at her business, we realized a couple key things. She had people on the team, but there was no clear structure to support her directly. The one who's created all the magic, who keeps the pipeline flowing for everybody so she could write their paychecks. Because everything she was doing was custom, everything was reactive, and everything depended on her. So I'm going to be really honest. We started small. We standardized her design presentation process, just the presentation process. We also created one heck of an onboarding process that set clear client boundaries that gave her nights and weekends back. And we built a repeatable framework for decision making. Repeatable, such a good word. Remember, that may sound boring if you're a very right-brained person, but look at it as that left brain kicking in to set the stage for right brain work. Just because you are building a repeatable framework for decisions doesn't mean the outcome of those decisions is going to be the same every time. That's where the creativity comes in, right? So what happened after a few months in this case? Well, it shifted. She was still doing great work, but she was no longer carrying the entire business on her back. That is the shift we are looking for. All right, let's bring this full circle. Because if you are busy all the time and your business is not growing, whatever your definition of growing is, it is not because you need to work harder. It is because your business is designed to sustain, not to grow. Growth comes from reducing dependency on you, building structure that creates output without that constant input from you, and really defining what growth actually means for your life. Because let's face it, folks, at the end of the day, if your business only works when you are working, it is not growing. It is being maintained. If this episode hits something for you, if you're realizing that you've built a business that depends entirely on you and you're ready to shift that, this is exactly the work I do at Success by Design. I am not just teaching this, I'm living it as an active interior designer with nearly 20 years of experience running a multi-million-dollar firm. I want to help you look at your business, your structure, your goals, and let's redesign it so it actually supports the life that you want to live. If this resonates with you, I want you to head over to fixmydesignbiz.com. Again, that's fixmydesignbiz.com, biz with a Z. And let's have a conversation. Let's hop on a 15-minute problem-solving call and see if I can help you work through this. Because at the end of the day, I want you to have the life you envisioned when you first started your business. Until next week, take care.